Well, good evening and welcome to KUTV Primetime News this 14th day of September. We have a lot more in store for you in this bulletin, but before that, let's get to the highlights. Kenya and Somalia hold security talks with President William Ruto at State House in strengthening their regional ties. Ghana's second lady, wife to Ghana's deputy president, pays First Lady Rachel Ruto a visit at State House. And brace yourself for costly fuel as scrapping of subsidy looms. Governors Abdul Sumath Sheriff and Fernandez Baraza to be sworn tomorrow in Mombasa and Kakamega County. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm BENTURA KWAMBOKA and our sign language interpreter for today is Moses Gitonga. And President William Ruto has hit the ground running today, just a day after his swearing in by pledging to support the judiciary in maintaining its financial independence by receiving an additional 3 billion annual boost for the next 5 years in order to enable the judiciary to work efficiently. Zipora Waruguru opens our bulletin with that report.
President William Ruto has stated that his administration will work to ensure the independence of the judiciary in order to ensure the democracy of the country. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony of the 6 judges, Ruto hit the ground running with the promise to uphold the rule of law.
We are all equal before the law and before our constitution. And therefore, there must never be the case of the animal farm, where there are people who are more equal than others. We are all equal before the law.
Ruto outlined several key factors that his administration will seek to achieve in maintaining the financial independence and efficiency of the judiciary. He stated that the Judiciary Fund, which rolled into place on 1st June, would receive a boost of an additional 3 billion shillings annually for the next 5 years to enable the judiciary to work independently and efficiently.
It is important that our judiciary operates at a maximum level. I am looking forward, as I committed myself yesterday, to supporting the judiciary so that the judiciary can discharge its mandate.
Ruto continued to emphasize the importance of the autonomy of the judiciary and called upon the judiciary to support his administration in dealing with commercial, land and corruption cases in a timely manner. He further added that he would deal with impunity as no one was above the law.
I want to request the judiciary on behalf of the people of Kenya to support our administration in ensuring that corruption cases, commercial cases, land cases are adjudicated and concluded in a timely manner, because that way we can promote Kenya.
At his inauguration ceremony, he stated that his administration would work with the judiciary to build high courts in the remaining 7 counties and magistrate courts in the remaining 123 sub-counties in order to support their ongoing digitization program. He also stated that these resources would scale up justice by increasing the number of small claims courts from 25 to 100. Zipora Waruguru, KU TV.
Well, thank you, Zipora, for that report. And on his first day as the fifth president of Kenya, President William Ruto has presided over the swearing-in ceremony of the 6 appointed judges who were recommended for appointment over 3 years ago at State House today. The swearing-in was presided over by Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Anne Amadi.
The 6 judges who were recommended for appointment over 3 years ago by the Judicial Service Commission were finally took oath of office today at State House.
To celebrate our judiciary for sustaining its tradition of boldly giving much-needed guidance, especially in allaying post-election anxieties and resolving grievances in a sensitive, credible, and authoritative manner.
The head of state, Dr. William Ruto, oversaw their swearing in following their appointment yesterday during his inauguration as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. According to a Gazette notice published just after President Ruto was sworn in, Justices Korir Weldon Kipyegon, Muchelule Agri Otsiula, Odunga George Vincent, and Joel Mwaura Ngugi were appointed to the Court of Appeal.
You have my very best wishes as you engage in your mandate and responsibilities as judges of or as judicial officers. Congratulations to you. My very best wishes as you serve the people of Kenya.
The other judges, Makori Evans Kiago and Cheruiyot Omange Judith Elizabeth, have been appointed to Environmental and Land Court. The swearing-in ceremony was attended by Chief Justice Martha Koome and her deputy Philomena Mwilu, Chief Registrar of the Judiciary Anne Amadi, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
And the laws and customs of the Republic.
Also present was the retired Chief Justice David Maraga. President William Ruto wished the appointed judges well as they dedicate to public service. The outgoing president, Uhuru Kenyatta, had declined to appoint the 6 judges, stating that he turned down their nomination, and I quote, for failing to meet their required threshold. The delay in the appointment of the judges had strained the relations between the executive and the judiciary. For KUTV, I am Susan Wayaki.
And in a series of meetings today, President William Ruto has hosted his Somalia counterpart Hassan Sheikh Mohamud at State House for talks in regards to security in the region and the Horn of Africa, as well as talks on boosting the trade of miraa and fish between Kenya and Somalia in a move to ease the movement of products between the two nations. And on the same breath, President William Ruto also held a meeting with South Sudan's President Salva Kiir at State House on strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries and boost intra-African trade within East African Community and other continents, including regional infrastructure development. And Samira Bawumia, the wife of Ghana's Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, has paid Rachel Ruto a courtesy call at the presidential residence in State House, Nairobi. In an official tweet, the First Lady expressed her gratitude to the Second Lady of Ghana. Rachel Ruto took to the official status of the First Lady of the Republic after the inauguration of his husband, President William Ruto, yesterday at Moi Sports Center, Kasarani. Kenyans should prepare for rising fuel costs starting today after President William Ruto made a hint that the subsidy program will end due to its unsustainable nature. Ruto observed that Uhuru's administration had spent 144 billion shillings on subsidies alone at the cost of other industries in his inauguration speech after becoming the country's 5th president.
The subsidy on petroleum products has so far protected Kenyans from the high fuel prices, but that may soon change in light of President William Ruto's hint to scrap the fuel subsidy. In his inaugural speech, President Ruto stated that if the subsidy continued to the end of the year, the taxpayer would have spent 280 billion shillings.
The taxpayers have spent a whopping 144 billion. 60 billion in the last 4 months alone. If the subsidy continues to the end of the financial year, it will cost taxpayers 280 billion, equivalent to the entire national government development budget.
The cost of energy and transportation is a measure used to gauge inflation in the nation. In the event that the president decides to end the fuel subsidy scheme, Kenyans will be staring at higher prices of the precious commodity. They have, however, expressed fears that the higher fuel prices may become a heavy burden on their shoulders.
If the levy is scrapped, there will be a reprieve to the cost of living for most of Kenyans, and it will be a good thing for us. But on the other side, if it's scrapped, it would also mean loss of revenue to the Kenyan government.
Fuel subsidy program had shielded the prices of petrol from jumping to 214 shillings a litre, up from 159 shillings. The cost of diesel would have retailed at 206 shillings, up from 140 shillings, and kerosene would have gone up to 202 shillings from 127 shillings. Most Kenyans are anxious to know how Ruto will cushion them from the high fuel after withdrawing the subsidy program.
As much as upande huu, the prices of commodities might increase a bit, but on the other hand, that money will be set free kusaidia kwa sectors zingine ambazo I can call priority areas.
With the fuel subsidy expected to end soon, Kenyans now have to dig deeper to meet their daily needs. Teresia Maluki, KUTV, Nairobi.
Well, that subsidy there, that means that Kenyans are actually going to face hard economic times ahead. And Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU Secretary Francis Otwoli, has congratulated President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua on their inauguration. Otwoli, who was a fierce critic of Ruto, urged Kenyans to follow the president's call for peace and reconciliation, reiterating that Kenyan workers, children and women are the most affected whenever there is no unity in the country. Well, that story there takes us for a commercial break here at KUTV. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages at KUTV_Kenya.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020-359-9054.
Sasa ni bora zaidi. Mwanzo mpya, mambo mapya. Msimu mwingine wa Boresha Kilimo unakuletea teknolojia ibuka, kilimo mseto, uongezaji thamani. Teknolojia dijitali ya mauzo inawezesha ufikiaji wa masoko. Soko moko yako, mahangaiko yako ya kufikia masoko yamefika kikomo, manake tunao Mkulima Young.
What Mkulima Young does is it connects farmers with the market.
Hii ni Boresha Kilimo kwa ushirikiano na Mkulima Young. Atafutaye hachoki na kichoka kesha pata. Kwa makala maalum ya kilimo, ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Boresha Kilimo.
Today on Focus on Health, we're going to be talking about ovarian cancer, how it manifests and the treatment.
Cancer of the ovary is more common with people with few children.
Oh,
the more children you get, the less are the risk of ovarian cancer.
The percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGPO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGPO. 30%. So if let's assume, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600,000? 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGPO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with BENTURA KWAMBOKA and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. And Governors-elect of Mombasa, Abdulswamad Nasir, and his counterpart, Fernandez Baraza of Kakamega counties, are expected to be sworn in tomorrow. The two will be sworn in at Bugungu Stadium in Kakamega and Mamangina Waterfront in Mombasa counties, respectively. The elections of the two counties were postponed due to printing error in their gubernatorial ballot papers.
Preparations for the swearing-in ceremony for Mombasa Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir and Fernandez Baraza of Kakamega County are at their final touches. The swearing-in ceremony are set for tomorrow, Thursday 15th. Elections for the two counties were postponed by the IBC chairman Wafula Chebukati due to errors in the election materials. In Kakamega County, Governor-elect Barasa and his deputy Ayub Savula will take their oath at Buhungu Stadium from 8 a.m. Most of the projects initiated by the outgoing Governor Wycliffe Oparanya are yet to be completed. They include Madala Tea Factory in Shinyalu, a maize milling plant in Lugari, and a gold refinery in Nkolomani. The residents are hopefully waiting that the newly elected leaders will complete the projects to start benefiting them. In Mombasa, preparations for the swearing of Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir have gotten to its peak stage. The preparations have been going on at the Mamangina Waterfront, with county askaris rehearsing for the day. Nasir has a big task ahead of him in dealing with pending bills worth over 4 billion, enhancing service delivery, and forming his executive team. He will also be required to align some of his development plans with those of the national government, since the county hosts the key national assets such as the Mombasa Port. With only some hours to the swearing ceremony of Mombasa and Kakamega governors, the citizens in the counties are waiting with high hopes to see the manifestos promised by the governors to come to life. Muhsin Mohammed, KUTV.
And today marks the last day for the body of Queen Elizabeth II to lay at Buckingham Palace in London before the procession continues to Westminster Palace ahead of her burial on Monday next week. Thousands of mourners are expected to line up along the route to Westminster to give their last respects to the Queen before her interment. Well, with that story from London, we take another short commercial break here at KUTV. Make sure to give us company till the end of the bulletin.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause? Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits. The road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane. Keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Why rugby? Rugby is a great game, of course. It's a character-building sport. It's an excellent team sport. I played rugby as a young boy, as a young man. I played at high school, and I played at university, and I played some club rugby in the UK. Then one day Gadesha said, Baba, please teach me how to play rugby. And I thought, okay, how am I going to teach him then? Thereafter, he made me buy him a ball.
Take the onions together with some flavorings.
And today we are going to talk about a technology or an innovation that is based on agriculture called StoreFresh.
One thing that brings together the team at StoreFresh is we are all children of smallholder farmers. We've seen how much work these people put in and how little return they get for it.
Our end goal is to digitize informal agriculture in Africa.
And how we do this is, first of all, the point at which we onboard the farmers is through an AI SMS chatbot. So ideally, what we're building at StoreFresh is an end-to-end solution.
Welcome back, and let's get sporty now. Liverpool recorded their first UEFA Champions League win of 2-1 against Netherlands Ajax in their match yesterday night at Anfield. In other matches played, Bayern earned a home win after thrashing Barcelona 2-0 at Allianz Arena, while Tottenham conceded an away defeat of 2-0 against Sporting in Portugal.
James Milner and Roberto